Hello everyone, it's Eon here, and it's time to go back and look over October 2024. It's the Saturday, October 19th, 2024 as I'm recording this. So let's look at 3D printing for the month of October, our second view, and I don't intend on repeating myself but too much. However, we're going to start off by doing that with 3D Art Guy. I just wanted to remind everyone, including myself, about this free model of the Orc X-Wing that he has out. I need to go grab that. Don't you forget to do it either. Next up, we have Atlan Forge. Atlan Forge releases a little bit throughout the month. We've already looked at the Dragon Salt Infernos, and we ended with looking at the Templar Vehicle Ornaments pack that had come out. They released a few more renders of those, and that includes these, as well as a few more images here. Those were not released when we did the previous video. Since then, they've also released the Minoan Initiates. These guys come in 5 different sculpts. I like the eyepiece of the accessory of the guy on the right. And then we have the Waitoa Aegis Captain. My, what big hands you have. Notice he comes with multiple options for hands as well as heads, or shoulders, or even backpacks. Notice, so here's what he looks like with one variation and with another variation. Again, these are interchangeable power sights, jaw fists, power claws, chain sword, Volter gauntlets, 2 torsos, 3 helms, 2 heads, 4 pauldrons, 2 backpacks, and legs. He also comes with a rock base. New to my video, and I should have been including this when I could, is Cyber Stash, the Sci-Fi sister Patreon to DM Stash. Cyber Stash is doing the Silver Jackal this month, which comes in 2 different sculpts or dioramas if you so wish. In addition to the Silver Jackal, there is the Kruger Security Forces, which come in 3 different models, as well as a prop, which is the Jackal's calling card. Dakka Dakka continues their releases throughout the month. Again, here just for review is the list of models for October. And we saw the Mine Rat Shift Supervisor earlier, and there's Gargacool the Big Rekka. Notice that this model now has a color render as well. Notice that the little Gabo up there is giving you a salute, and notice the weapons that Gargacool has. Here he has like a big, what is that, a 5-barrel gun? And if 2 of the barrels have 6 barrels, it keeps going down. But over here, we notice we have some sort of launcher of critters, and his goblin up there is helping him keep that device loaded so that he can launch those as needed. So there are a couple of variations of Gargacool here. In addition, we have Boss Smurknife. Ghamak this month is continuing their releases. Here we see an overview image, and looks like there may be something still releasing that they don't even have a render of for themselves yet. Now, I've already shown you this, so we'll go through this quickly. The Tactical Artillery Tank, as well as the Heretic Exterminators. The Lieutenant Colonel 2, which comes in a couple of variations, and the Heretic Sorcerer 1. Now this is new released. Notice the backpack there. Here we have the Knights of the Temple, which comes with a couple of head sculpts. These are modular, so you can put these together however you need. It looks like the head is the main alternative there. Here we have the Heretic Knights. either with or without a helmet. Notice the detail of this guy in that he has either a helmet or not, but even the backpack on his back. The Freedom Guard have a cannon with crew, or a turret. I expect we'll see more from Ghamak before the month is out. Next up, we have Loot Studios. If you didn't know, Loot around the 15th of the month does a Sci-Fi release. Now, if you are a subscriber to Loot, be sure to go on, and they have a rewards program where every month that you're a member, you get so many points that you can redeem for free models in their store. This one's actually free. Completely, as in no coins, nothing to pay for. So if you already subscribe to Loot Studios, be sure you go in and claim this model to add it to your library. Here we have Mr. Pump King. I see what you did there, Loot. Death Rider. Notice he's a headless horseman here, or steel horse he rides, of course. But this month's release is Bump in the Night, and you'll notice Mr. Pump King is right there in the front, but here he has his head, so that is a variation of that sculpt. Our heroes for the month of October are Dr. Curie, the scientist, Ashton, the survivor. There seems to be something reaching out for him. Is that a shotgun in his hand? We have Rufus. We have Nikki, the action girl, Eddie, the brawler, and Jay Nito, the detective. Wow, there's so many references here. My mind is boggled. Next up, we have Bump in the Night some enemies. So we have Mr. Pumpkin there. We also have Count Warlock, Mason the Unshackled, Arabelle, a Murder Rubber. Okay. It Who Warps, Shepherd of Pain, Boink the Clown, Skin Taker, and Kurayumi. Basically, whatever horror version you want, it seems they have you covered. We have a haunted armchair for environment, as well as cellar doors, decayed trapdoors, and a haunted cradle. Decayed stairs, a haunted coat rack, bat-ravaged door, and a ghastly cabin. Why is everything so haunted this month? For the busts, we have the Shepherd of Pain, Nikki the Action Girl, and Ashton the Survivor. I'm surprised we don't have Dr. Curie as a bust. And for their prop, we have a Cruel Book Nook. So I believe this is something that you print off and you stick it on your shelf in between a few books and just add some character to your shelves. If you want to look at that, that is. Mr. Modulork is making the most of Orktober, that seems to be for sure. So there apparently will be 9 releases this month, and we've not seen everything just yet. A lot of these would probably double for fantasy releases as well, but the gun in his hand makes me say this is a sci-fi release for sure. Here we have some Zomborks. Zomborks. Here we have Dejef or Dehefe. We have some Zomgobs. This is release number 3. And again, even the buckle is a little bit techno, or the buckles are a bit techy, but for the most part, these could be fantasy miniatures as well. Here we have Jazzork. Pair him with the guy from Loot Studios there. Number 5, we have some Bloat Orcs. And man, they definitely seem a bit bloated. And then the last release he has released so far is Busta. Really quick, just looking over one-page rules, we've already looked at the Human Defense Force, and we're not going to rehash that. And of course, the GF war fleets and the terrain. But the reason, and the welcome pack, of course. But the reason I wanted to bring this back in was I wanted to point out the narrative campaign for Grimdark Future Edge of the Radiance is live on Frontier. Now, the main focus of this is these 4 new heroes that you see here. But if you already have a bunch of other stuff, then you can go in pretty cheaply. I think it's about $9 and get the new miniatures. Me personally, I don't really think I had very many of the factions they had released. I guess those were some of the earlier factions one-page rules did. And rather than that fear of missing out, which hurts my wallet so much, I now own those. Let's just leave it at that. Papsikels is released a little bit, not much. Just going to put in the Predatech Wolf Hunter, and I think I got interrupted when I did this. He should be on the other side of the screen and not blocking the logo. Sorry about that, Papsikels. New to my video, I saw a few people mention this creator, RedMakers and Adeptus Miniatures. Apparently this is a collaboration sort of tribe. I'm relatively new to this. So we have October Part 1 has been released, and we see the Shattered Legion, Special Forces, and Flesh Stalkers. So you can kind of see everything that you see here. Let's look at that in a little bit more detail. Here are the Flesh Stalkers. Notice those are both Adeptus miniatures, but then these say these are RedMakers. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments below, because I'm just not familiar with the history of this Patreon or tribe, but I'm thrilled to death to add them to the mix. Stationforge releases throughout the month, usually about at least once a week, if not twice a week. So really quickly, let me recap what we've already seen. The Vaskar Hunters, I'm assuming that's a Vaskar. Battle Tank 2.0 with detailed interior. So you can see it comes with quite a crew, lots of different options. Lots of options for weapons, lots of options for assemblage, as well as the way you put the crew on this tank. As many or as few guys as you would like. What is that? 3 guys below, 1 in the middle, 4 up top, and 1 in the back. It's like 9 guys. But anyway, since last time, we have the Socrates Light Reinforcement. I'm rather fond of these guys. These are modular and do come with various options, just to show you what you get here. These guys kind of strike me as a mix between Space Marine and like National Guard. Like the everyday guy with a little bit of extra armor. I really like this. I suppose for the month of October we have to do some kind of spooky variation, so here we have the Grimcore Jesters. Then we have the Grimguard Scarecrow. All of these are scarecrows. Then we have Grimguard Mutantstein. Notice he does come with variations on his hands. If you want him to be armed, he can be, or he doesn't have to be. Here we have the Orca's Team Fighters. I like the gun there. And I'm a sucker for heavy weapons. Then we have the Corrupted Guard Wretched, and these are not my style. I'll just leave it at that. But there's a lot of variation in this group. some skinny, some not so skinny, some short, some tall, some with tentacles and some without. Hand weapons, ranged weapons, goggles, no goggles. Sorry, I don't know why I duplicated that slide. Then we have Grimdark Radicus. I like the goggles on these guys. Very futuristic. The masks, everyone is slightly different. Trident Studio, I don't often get to include, but I do this time, and I'm excited to do that. Trident Studio does superheroes, which I feel fits more in sci-fi than in fantasy. So let's look at what they've got for this month. We have Annihilus, Diablo, Diablo Classic, Null, Massacre, Sunspot, Terrax, The Traitor. It's a very different looking miniature. And Warlock. I'm impressed with the amount of character they've given Warlock without any paint. Not sure how much I'll include them going forward, but here we have Txarli Factory. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but they were featured on my mini factory for October, and I wanted to include them for that. So here we have a bunch of terrain. So if you're looking for terrain, these are probably your go-to people. They do a good job. And we included this for sci-fi because these does seem to be a little bit more advanced, but could definitely double for fantasy. But the thing for the month of October, or Orktober, are these pieces of terrain here. So we have obviously inspired by several monuments here in the States that you can see there. Mount Orkmore, perhaps, as well as a few buried heads that could be used for some other things. And just to give you an idea of the scaling of those. So worth picking up this month if you enjoy that kind of thing for the month of October. Anyway, thank you for watching as always. Don't know if we'll do another overview video or not. I'm hoping next weekend, which is the last weekend of October, to do a November preview video before the month of November actually gets here, and hope to see you there. If I've missed anything or anything, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.